All right, welcome, Word listeners, to another great evening of Max Living Radio, Dallas, Fort Worth. This is Dr. Rick Royston and Dr. Chris Kordic in studio this evening. And as always, we're just so pumped and excited to be on the radio. You know, we've been doing this for years and years now, Dr. Chris, and it really is just, it's one of the most exciting things that we get to do because of all the lives that have been changed over the years and people getting truth and really starting to understand the principle of what we do. And a lot of people think chiropractic is about neck pain and back pain, and that's, you know, we help so many people with those things, but honestly, it's about understanding that your body is designed to heal, and that happens through your nervous system, through your brain sending signals down your spinal cord, through the nerves to every muscle, gland, organ, tissue, cell in the body, and your spine regulates a lot of that. All of it. And so that's one of the things that we focus on. Today, we're gonna share with you just what we do in our office, how we can help you. We're going to talk about back pain. We're going to talk about painkillers. We're going to talk about a few different things that just so many people are plagued with, Dr. Chris. And, you know, it's holiday season. Christmas is coming up. This is one of those, New Year's getting ready to roll around. And so a lot of people right now are suffering. They're hurting. They're overweight. They're on medications. They just see, you know, so many things around them just like not going the way they want to. And they're looking at January 1st and they're thinking, all right, this is going to be it. This is my year. This is my time. Yeah. It's going to start then. Well, start now. You know, it's great that you have hope that next year is going to be different. Mm-hmm. But what about in the moment right now? Go ahead and start. And the number is 877-778-6978. If you've been listening to our show and you know that you need to come in and get checked, you know that you want to meet us and see how we can help, call in. It's $40. That's going to reserve your spot, going to cover the consultation, the exam, any testing that we need to do up to the point of the x-rays. So before we get started, though, I just want to share a little bit. One, because I'm super pumped. We just had our third child. So her name's Bishop Rose. She was born on Tuesday, the 11th. And I just wanted to share this with you because I think it's important for a lot of moms out there that we actually had an emergency C-section with our first child, Asher. And, you know, for Stephanie, it was hard because she had this whole vision of being able to give birth at home and have a natural birth. And she had really felt like she failed when it didn't go the way that she had planned. And that was really hard on her. And I remember, you know, right after this whole thing went down, but mom's healthy and baby's healthy. And so, you know, we felt blessed and we were, you know, glad. And to be honest, Dr. Chris, it really helped me understand our medical system. It's there for a crisis. Mm-hmm. So in a crisis, it can save someone's life. It wasn't designed to get people healthy, but in those moments, I was very thankful that we had an emergency care system that could, you know, deliver my baby and make sure that he was healthy and that my wife was healthy.
Absolutely.
And alive. But I remember right after that, she's like, I don't ever want to go through that again.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be able to deliver at home. And she starts talking to people. And the first thing they tell her is like, well, you had a C-section. You could never deliver naturally at home or deliver naturally or at home. Like both of them, either one of them.
Yeah.
But really not combined. And so, you know, they put this thought in her head. And I've had so many moms and dads and people come up to me recently and say, our doctors, our nurses, our medical profession, they've told us that once we had a C-section, then we can't go back. There's always going to be a C-section again after that. Well, we just had our second natural home birth last week, and Bishop was born. My wife didn't have any medications. We had a midwife at home, and I just, you know, not really anything except to let you know that if you're listening, that your body is designed to work at a high capacity. It's designed to heal. And there may be those emergencies, times where it doesn't go exactly how you plan, but it doesn't mean that you can't change the course. It doesn't mean that you can't do things differently down the road. And this isn't just about pregnancies and being able to deliver naturally after a C-section. It's also, you know what, you may have had a surgery. You may have been on a medication. You may have been diagnosed with a disease. You may have been told you have a genetic disorder. Whatever it is, just because you've been told that and just because it's not gone how you wanted it to go for so long doesn't mean that you cannot change the course, right? You have this amazing opportunity and ability for your body to work better and better and better over time and change all of that, and just don't accept what's happened. I think too many people get so caught up in just accepting what's happened in their lives, and they think nothing else is going to change. It's not going to get any better. But that hope being restored is one of the greatest things that can ever happen.
Well, what that makes me think of too is, let me get this mic where it should be. The fact that one doctor said, well, you'll never be able to have a vaginal birth after a C-section. So how many women and how many people, they just accept that?
Yeah.
Yep. So if a doctor tells you, well, you got on blood pressure medication, you're never going to be able to get off of it. You got on diabetes medication, you're never going to be able to get off of it. You have a low back problem, right? So you have a bulging disc, you have a herniation, you have a facet problem, you're going to have surgery. You're going to have injections, right? So this is just, it's one person's opinion that tells you something, and you don't have to accept it.
Right.
You've got to search for what is your goal. So in your wife's situation, her goal was to have a natural home birth. That's what she wanted. And so if she would have only listened and accepted the one opinion of that medical doctor, she wouldn't have got to have this.
Right.
Okay. But what she did was she seeked out other opinions, other midwives, other specialists, other birthing centers and places. And you become comfortable with the decision. You say, oh my gosh, I can make this decision how I want to do it. It's my health, it's my body, it's my choice. I think a lot of people, they need to hear that. They need to understand that no matter what you're going through, your health is your decision.
Right.
Nobody else is going to care about your health more than you do. And you have this God-given innate intelligence inside of you that tells you right from wrong. And it tells you, inside of you, if you have headaches every day, or if you have some type of autoimmune condition or whatever your symptoms are, that there's some people that have these problems, they're taking a medication, and in their gut, they know this is not the right thing to do.
Right.
But it's the only thing they know, because they think it's total neglect if they don't do something about it.
Yeah.
And I get that, right? So, if you don't do anything about it, that's not the right thing to do. But what we want to give you guys tonight and every night we're on the show is that there's other options. There's other forms of health care. And really what we give people is health care, not sick care.
Right.
Not crisis care. Going back to your story, when your first son was born, Asher, that's a crisis situation, right? He was breech. That's the the reason that they had to have the C-section was because he was breech at the time. That the baby never flipped. But so you don't have to. That's great in the crisis. If your blood pressure is 200 over 150, right? A medication to lower that is great in the crisis. So, but that doesn't mean you need to continue taking that blood pressure medication for 8 years down the road. You got to figure out what caused it in the first place. Sometimes people, their back pain is so bad or their neck pain is so bad, maybe they have to take an Advil, maybe they have to take a steroid injection to get them through that moment. That is what it is. But the problem is if you keep taking the over-the-counter medication, if you keep taking the painkillers, the steroid injections, all those things, they cover up the symptoms, but they never address the cause. And so hopefully tonight you'll kind of understand this, that the cause is everything. And that's what we do in the office, is we want to get to the cause of why things are not functioning, why things are not healing correctly. And a lot of the things that brings people in, by the way, the number is 877-778-6978, and this is Max Living Radio. Another cool thing before I keep going is you can listen to this on YouTube. If you just go to Max Living Radio 100.7, you'll be able to see a video of this on YouTube. You can see it all in its entirety if you're only catching a little snippet of it in your car tonight. So, but tonight we want to get through, some of the things that bring people in, and a lot of it is pain. A lot of it is neck pain, headaches, back pain. And then a lot of other people that are listening to the radio, things that bring them in are just, they want an alternative form of health.
Right.
They want to know that they don't have to take a drug for every single thing in their life, that if they figure out the cause, if they take responsibility for their health, that they can totally resolve their health.
Yeah. Yeah, I just thinking, we just had this young little girl, she's 10 years old, came in on blood pressure medication. And think about, what most people would think of, again, neck pain, back pain, headaches, and those are normal things that people come in for. But when you're looking at health and healthcare long term, you really have to look at the current situation that's going on. We lead the world in taking medications. We lead the world in preventative medicine. We lead the world in surgeries. And you look at that, we lead the world in doctor's visits. Yet we're one of the sickest countries in the entire world. And like you said before, most people innately know when they're taking those medications, that's not the ultimate long-term goal that's going to get them where they want to be. Nobody wants more medication. Nobody wants more drugs. But
and just some stats on that real quick, because I got them right in front of me. 1 out of 2 Americans takes a prescription drug. Over 60% of people take a prescription medication. 25 million pills are taken every hour. 1 out of 4 children is on a prescription medication for a chronic condition. And a chronic condition means that it's not going to go away, right? It's not something like I'm just doing something for a cut or something like that's going to heal on its own. This is for a high blood pressure, a cholesterol, a thyroid, a depression, a pain, something like that. 1 out of 4 women takes an antidepressant. I mean, the list goes on and on about people that take medication when you really look at the stats.
Well, and what's unfortunate is a lot of times now, because we're so over inundated with these stats and information, that just kind of rolls across people.
Yeah.
You know, you hear those numbers and it's like, oh, well, yeah. But you know, if you really stop and you analyze where you are right now and you say, okay, I'm one of those people that's taking a chronic drug every day. Mm-hmm. I'm one of those people that's on 4 blood pressure medications. I'm a person that's taking digestive disorder medication. I'm a person having to take Excedrin or Advil 2-3 times a week because I have headaches. You're one of those people. You have to realize that you're putting yourself into the potential of a crisis. That these drugs, it's not just statistics to say, hey, 1 out of 4 women are on anxiety medication, psychotropic medication. Mm-hmm. It's to let you know that those things are addictive, that they affect brain chemistry, that they're designed to create an emotional block, that they slow down frontal cortex development, they change how you make rational decisions. You know, there's so many problems that come along with this, not to mention now that they've been out long enough, they're finding out how it affects cancer and diabetes and heart disease and all of these other things that you never get told when you start taking those. And people hear that statistic and they go, well, I'm glad that's not me. Mm. But why not you? If you're taking those drugs every single day, what's going to keep you from being that crisis where, you know, you're trying to weigh that reward versus risk, and the risk definitely outweighs the reward long term.
And here's something that just came to me is that you got to look for your exit strategy, right?
Yeah.
And all of our investments and, you know, the housing market, I mean, everything that people do, you know, we're looking for what is the exit strategy out of this. And so I think that's a really good point for you to have tonight is that, you know, if you're stuck on medications, you have to think about how am I going to get off of this? Yeah. What am I going to do next? What is the next, you know, and let's don't even go 5 year, you know, what does the next 5 months look like for me? Right. How can I start exercising, start losing weight? How can I take care of the dietary things and start putting actual fuel in my body, living plants and, you know, things that are going to create health and promote health and decrease inflammation in the body? How can I take care of my nervous system? How can I make sure that my body is functioning and healing correctly? You know, and this is the big thing that we do in our office is we address the nervous system. You know, we know that this is the master control center of everything in the body. So if we can affect neurology, you can affect the body's health. And that's what we want to do is we want to affect the body's health, because health is not just the absence of disease or the absence of symptoms. Health is when your body is functioning and healing at its God-given potential. And that all starts from the inside. That starts from the nervous system. And so when your spine has got problems in it, guess what you eventually get? You get pain. And that's when you have neck pain or you have mid-back pain, you have numbness and tingling, headaches, you know, you have constipation and reproductive, cyclic issues, you know, all these autoimmune conditions. These are all results of nervous system dysfunction. Okay, almost every symptom that you could name is a result of nervous system dysfunction. Right. So if we can correct the nervous system, you can now restore healing from the inside out. And so this is the first step that we do with every patient in our office is to figure out how is the nervous system working. So you might ask, what does that even mean? What does it mean to figure out how the nervous system is working? So typically we take x-rays of people, and we know specifically that the spine is supposed to be in a certain position. And when it shifts off of midline, it shifts off of that position, then it's going to create a problem. And so if we can start to shift it back to midline, you take the pressure off the nervous system, you reconnect those neural pathways, and the body starts to work, right? It's a pretty easy process. That process doesn't happen overnight, right. And it's not a single serving thing. Like, I mean, anybody that tells you that you're going to go do one thing and everything else in your life is going to get better, or you're going to take one, you know, butter in your coffee, or one supplement that's going to make your brain better, or one drug that's going to keep you from getting cancer. Nothing in life is a one thing, one trick pony. Right? So this is a humongous piece to your health puzzle, is making sure that the nervous system is functioning correctly. After we do that, Then we got to start looking at the nutrition, looking at the amount that you exercise. Are you overweight? We talked about stats earlier. Here's one that always gets me. If I don't slow down and listen to this stat, you can just let it fly by your ears. But when you hear this, 70% of Americans are overweight. I mean, just really let that sink in. That is huge. That means 7 out of 10 people. If we're at church and we stood up 10 people and then we said 7 of you guys sit down, right? Only 3 of those people are left in good, healthy weight. That is huge. That's huge. That 30% of America is in a normal, healthy weight range where 70% of people struggle with their weight. Because, Dr. Rick, if I struggle with my weight, am I going to have other health problems with that?
Yes.
Yeah, and I don't always know it yet, right? But I'm going to know it when the crisis comes. I'm going to know it when my blood pressure really does shoot up. I'm going to know it if I have a stroke. I'm going to know it if I have a heart attack, if I have get diagnosed with some form of cancer. It is.
But even, I mean, those are all major things. But, if you're carrying around 30 extra pounds,
the musculoskeletal system.
Yeah, I mean, you may think you're healthy, but your knees are going to hurt, your feet are going to hurt, your back's going to hurt. I mean, those are just, you're carrying extra weight. No matter what, you're still going to feel the effects of that.
We had a patient come in with a knee problem, and they had just gone to a orthopedic and for their knee, and he gave them this research and everything, and it showed that if for 1 added pound of weight gain, it adds 4 pounds of stress to the knee.
Wow.
So that means if you gain 25 pounds this year, so when you look back over 2018, and if you've gained 25 pounds, that's 100 added pounds of stress to both your knees.
That's crazy.
That's huge, right? On the flip side of that, I just had a patient this week that was like, I lost 25 pounds this year, and my knees feel better. I was like, amazing. And she had a lot more weight to lose, but at the same time, I said, you know why? Because you just took 100 pounds of stress off of your knees by losing 25 pounds. That's huge. So, you look at the men and women that are struggling with their weight, their hips, their knees, their ankles, their low back, everything struggles because the frame wasn't meant to carry around all this extra weight.
Well, and the thing, especially with knees, so many people come in and they've been to orthopedists and they get told, well, it's bone on bone. All you can do now is surgery. We're going to have to do a knee replacement. I mean, I hear that all the time.
Yeah.
But, I mean, think about that. If you go in and you replace the knee and you still have all that extra weight and your hips are still misaligned and there's extra pressure on that, then you're just perpetuating the same problem that caused that. And so your knees aren't necessarily going to be in a better position. You may feel better for a short amount of time, but you're still creating the same process. And so you have to start looking at this. It's kind of what we started with as the overall health objective. Like, what do you want your life to look like? What do you want it to be like? And getting these surgeries or taking medications or doing those things, in the short term, you may see a change. You may see a difference. But what is it going to look like long term? Are you really creating health? Are you really creating the life that you want to live? And that's what it boils down to. And then designing a plan. And that's one of the cool things about our office, Dr. Chris, is helping you come up with that. I mean, so many times we say, okay, here's the plan of action of what you need to do for your spine. Here's how we're going to help your nervous system, how your body's going to function better, how it's going to work better and heal better. So you're going to start to see everything on the uptrend. But then we sit down and go, okay, well, what does your nutrition look like? What do we need to do for you to help you? Because, unfortunately, it'd be nice if it was just cookie cutter for everybody.
Yeah.
And there's some general rules that everybody needs to follow. But how you apply that and what it looks like in your life, everybody is completely different. Same thing with exercise. Like I could sit here and I could ask you, okay, Dr. Chris, what is the best type of exercise? And you could give me a dissertation about why, surge training or HIIT is so good and why weightlifting is so good and cardio has its benefits and, all of these things. But if it's not something that you enjoy doing, you're not going to stick with it. I give you all the benefits in the world about why you need to be doing surge training or HIIT training. If you don't enjoy that, you're not going to do it.
Yep.
So finding what fits in your life and then helping keep you accountable to that. I think that's one of the greatest things that we do in our offices, and why so many people get long-term lasting results is because we're constantly talking to you about, what are you doing? How's this working? How can we tweak that? What do you need to do here? What's your goals? What are your objectives? And it's constant communication to make sure that you get exactly what you want out of this.
On that workout thing, the thing is how many people come in that they want to work out or they've been working out, and that's why they're coming in is because they have a problem, because they have an issue that they know that if they work out, and this could be you, is that if you go work out, you're going to be in so much pain you can hardly go to work. And that doesn't mean because you just nailed it at your workout. It just means you went and did something. I'm not saying you're that out of shape, but you have not been active in such a long period, or your back is so unstable that when you go do something, it throws you out.
Right.
You can't even be a part of your family or society because you are hurting so bad, and you got that hot back where you can't even get out of your bed for 5 or 7 days. So there's so many people that come into our offices that get help with that. We're able to help you, through our chiropractic care. We can help you with the back pain. We can help you get some stability and some structural alignment back in there, where the low back doesn't go out every time you even go for a walk or run up some stairs or whatever else. The low back doesn't go out anymore because there's now stability in there. There's now structural alignment, structural correction in there. And so now you can start to lose the weight because you're not so afraid just to go exercise and fear that, it's going to throw you out. So, if that is you, the number is 877-778-6978. That is 877-778-6978. I'm Dr. Chris Kordic. I am in McKinney. Dr. Rick Royston's here too, and he is in Plano. And then you have Dr. Aaron Wall in Fort Worth. So when you call in, obviously you'll come to the office that is closest to you. You pay $40 over the phone. When you pay that $40, it's going to cover the initial, the exam, the consultation, any testing we need to do. We'll go through everything right there. Typically we take x-rays, so if we need to take some x-rays, there is an additional fee with that. We'll let you know what that is before we take them, depending on how many we're going to take. And, really it all depends on what's going on with the individual. So we'll let you know those fees when you come in. Just take action. Really at the end of the year, I hope you're looking back and thinking like, what things worked, what things didn't work, and what do I want next year to look like? And I can't tell you enough how important your health is through all of this. Your health is your most important asset. I mean, just tell me another asset that's more important than your health, because there's not an investment out there that makes any sense if you're not here to utilize it.
Right.
You're going to love your kids, and you probably love, I know we're in a season where, our kids and our wife are the things we love and do everything for. But at the same time, if we don't have our health and we're not here for them, we're not doing any good to them. Right. We're actually causing pain to those people that you love. And guys, I've seen some people get sick lately. Pardon me. We had a patient that just passed, and I had to go over to their house the day after they passed. And, you quickly realize that there's nothing more important than your health.
Right.
I mean, and this guy started to make changes. He ended up losing a battle to cancer, but he started to make changes. But the thing was, when I met him, I wish I could have got to him 10 or 15 years earlier.
Right. Yeah.
And that's the prayer for all you guys out there that are listening, that in your heart of hearts, your health could be better. You truly know that. You know that you've got to make some changes going forward, because you just can't keep going down this train like you're going down. I mean, there's times where I'm sure you look at your bank account and you're like, I can't just keep doing this same thing. Like, it's just trickling out. You have to see that with your health too. You have to realize that you're not invincible, that there's not, modern medicine can't save you from everything. Okay, that the lifestyle choices that you make, every decision you make on a daily basis, you're either promoting health or you're promoting sickness and disease. And when I had to go over there and see the family and see the kids and everybody just, trying to process what just happened when this guy died, it really brought to light, how important your health is. It's so easy to forget until you kind of see that tragedy firsthand. And you realize that, I think unfortunately a lot of people have the mindset that if I get cancer, if I get Alzheimer's or Parkinson's, or if I get an autoimmune condition, like there's going to be a pill or there's going to be a cure or something. It's a false belief. There's never going to be a cure for cancer. There just can't. I mean, really think of, and some people are probably like cussing us because we're saying that. But I mean, think about it. Cancer is caused by multifactorial problems. It's caused by the environment. It's caused by pollution. It's caused by the water. It's caused by toxins in your everywhere around us. Like, you can't get a pill that's going to stop all that from happening. Right. So we have to realize that the only way to live a long, healthy, prosperous life is to take control of your health and do things about it. When I say take control, I mean stop just doing everything you want because it gives you instant gratification. Mm-hmm. Do the things that are going to create lasting gratification. Exercise, sleep, Talk to people. Don't just be on your phone all the time. I mean, manage your stress. Go to church, pray, get adjusted, take care of your nervous system. Drink water, stop drinking soda. Everything is not rocket science. It's the things that are going to create longevity. Every choice that you make going into this next year, I really hope that you can start to look at these choices and say, is this creating health or is this creating sickness in my body? And really, really think about it. It's not just food that I'm talking about.
Right.
It's every thought. It's every emotion. It's the way you treat people. Everything you do, start to ask yourself, is this making me a better person? Is this making me somebody that is going to have a long, healthy life? Or is this creating resentment? Is this creating stress in my body? What are these things creating?
And I think, too, because we've become so, just so busy. You've got technology, our phones, TV, activities. I feel like we've become so stressed by all of the things that we're doing, and we've become so busy that it's easy to ignore a lot of these things. And like you were talking about the bank account or your health or whatever, it's like we just kind of numb ourselves with TV and phones and social media and all these other things. And we just, I really think too, I feel like somebody, as a Christian, we just think, well, God's got us. He's going to take care of us. And it's true. We are in his hands, and it's his will for us to live an abundantly wealthy, healthy life. I believe that is his will, but it also, his word talks about taking action. And I think because a lot of times as Christians, we just think God's going to take care of this, that we just default to, I don't have to do anything about this.
Yeah.
And we take responsibility out of our own hands when really God's put it into our hands. He wants us to take action. He gives a plan of action of how to take care of yourself, how to take care of your life. Even talking about a relationship with him, you don't just sit back and, God meets you where you are, but he wants to talk to you. He wants to have communication with you and in a relationship. Health is the same way. You have to take those steps. So the number is 877-778-6978. Call in. It's $40 to reserve your spot. It's going to cover your exam, consultation, and if we need to take x-rays, we'll let you know the cost of those beforehand. But we love you guys. Thank you for listening. God bless you. Have a great Christmas.